Hello everyone! Today we're going to go ahead and do our first geometry lesson. Yay! We're going to go ahead and apply all those vocab words that we made our slides about. Well, not all of them, but we're going to start a majority of them. So we're going to take those vocab words that we use and we're going to apply them to different pictures and answer different questions. So first things first, you need to make sure you get this picture drawn as best as you can into your notes. I don't expect, artistic perfection, but you should at least have something drawn in. So pause this video and draw that picture. Okay, so first thing is we were asked to name a line that contains the point X. So let's go find where point X is. Okay, well, point X is right here. And I see that point X sits right here on this line. So there's a couple different ways that we could choose to name it. We could choose to call it point or line M, and we know that it's called M because we see the little M here off to the side right above the line or right next to it in kind of a cursive writing. That M is more cursive than, say, the R or the X or the W. So that's one way. The next way we could say it is we could use 2 points. So we could say the line XY. When I use 2 points, I have to put a line over those two. So far we've done 2 different ways. We could also say I could use the point XR because R still sits on that line. Again, with the line symbol above. And last but not least, we could say YR. Now, I have written 4 different ways to write this one line. One of those 4 is not more right than the other. They're all simply different. So you can choose if you want to use the cursive letter or 2 points. That's up to you. But I wanted to point out all 4 ways to do it. All right, let's take a look at this next question. We are going to name the line that contains point Z. So point Z is down here, and I can see it's the line that goes through that plane. Now, this one, because I only have 2 coordinate points, can only be named 2 different ways. I can choose to use the cursive letter L, like I see above at the top here, or I could choose the 2 points of R and Z. With a line, you rewriting them the opposite way, ZR or RZ, doesn't matter, it doesn't change the line, it's still the same thing. If I had, say, a 3rd point, then I'd have 2 other ways. I could also refer to this line. Excuse me. And last but not least, I want the name of the plane that contains the points W and R. So here's W, here's R. It sits in this yellow plane, and the name of this yellow plane is typically always found, or the plane is typically found in the corner. So in this case, we see that it's the letter B. So something to point out. The name of lines are typically written in lowercase letters, and they are written in a cursive fashion. Points and planes are written with large capital letters and are just in a regular font, not a cursive. All right, so taking a look at these 2 things being represented, what does it sound like? So if I have a tightrope, so think about if I have someone walking on it, yeah, it kind of looks like a line. So a line is being represented by tightrope. And then a floor. So if I think about the floor at school in my classroom with a carpet, I think it looks like a plane. All right, again, we need to get this drawing into your notes so we can talk about the questions. So pause that video and get that drawing in. Again, I don't expect it to be perfect, but there needs to be something there. How many planes do you see? This one is a bit intense, and I'm going to draw on it and then erase it. I have a plane here on the front, so that's 1. I have a plane here on the side, that's 2. I have another plane here, 3. There's 1 in the back, 4. And I have a plane on the bottom, so that's 5. So there are 5 planes here. Ooh. I need to just do this. So there are 5 planes there, each side of that shape. So the 4 rectangles and the 2 triangles. Name 3 collinear points. Collinear means they lie in the same line. So we have 2 things we could do here, and I'm going to type this out because it looks a little bit neater than my handwriting. We could either choose to say A, H, and B, because they all sit on that one line of AB, or I can choose to say B, J, F, because they sit on, ooh, undo, just trying to move it, there we go, because they sit on the line right here. So you can choose these 3 points, or you can choose these 3 points. Again, you're just answering the question of 3 collinear. They both are right. One's not more right than the other. You can just write one of them. Next question, are the points A, H, J, and D coplanar? So what I'm going to do is point out where those are. So A is here, H is here, J is here, and D's way over there. So I want to say yes for 3 out of the 4, because if I were to draw my line here describing the first top plane, I have 3 out of the 4 points. But point D sits in the corner of the triangle plane. So because he's not in that purple plane, these guys are not coplanar. So because point D sits in that triangle plane versus the rectangular plane, those points are not coplanar. And our last question for this picture. Are the points D, B, and F coplanar? Again, I'm gonna point those out. Let's use blue this time. So we have D, okay. That didn't go out I wanted it to. We got D, we've got B, and we've got F. So if I were to connect those dots, you see that they all line in the same blue triangular plane. So because they're in the same area, they are coplanar. So because they sit in that triangle of DBF, they are all considered coplanar. All right, that's all we have for that. I wish you guys have a great rest of your day. And if you have any questions, go ahead and send me an email. Bye, guys.